Today's episode is brought to you by Xander. Do you like things and stuff? Xander has it. As an e-commerce platform, Xander is unparalleled and now offers free 2-day shipping, digital content, cloud computing, devices and gadgets of all kinds, and even grocery and food delivery. This sounds suspiciously like Amazon. Lewis, is this the right copy? Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, I see it. Xander differentiates itself from other similar companies at the other end of the alphabet by being mandatory, offering fewer options, charging more money, and did I mention by being mandatory. So choose Xander today. You have no choice. Take a breath. Count to 10. Everything is as it should be. Everything will continue to be as it should be. The future is now, so you can stop waiting. Today is just the tomorrow that you feared yesterday. Do not panic. All is well. All is well. The collective happiness of the human race under Artilian rule can be seen from space. Humans on each continent are joining to form smiley faces. Honestly, but since humans are no longer allowed in space, you'll just have to take my word for it. It has been 1,353 days since we have been liberated, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades and friends, from the tyranny of freedom. This is your daily reminder of how good you have had it since the Artilian extraterrestrial invasion and subjugation 1,354 days ago, which succeeded after a battle with human forces lasting roughly 11 and a half minutes. All hail, Artilia. All hail the eyes in the sky. I'm your host, Landon Harker, and here's how good you have it today. The Artilian Division of Human Hair Growth has decreed that it is now forbidden for men to have long hair or beards. The reasons for this are many and varied, but mostly it has to do with the fact that Artilians cannot grow facial hair and find it sort of, fucking gross. It's a little like how you probably feel when you meet someone who is almost pathologically double-jointed. That Ehlers-Danlos is a real bitch. And even though it's natural to them, you'll never quite get used to seeing them bend their index fingers all the way back to touch the tops of their hands. It gives you that weird feeling in your spine, and perhaps makes your dick shrivel just a bit. Anyway, that's how Artilians feel about beards and long hair on men. Artilian security and enforcement agents will be conducting regular beard checks on the streets. Women are still allowed to have long hair. Matter of fact, certain of us prefer it that way if you want to know the truth. Artilian security and enforcement agents will also be conducting checks on women for and about hair, elsewhere. But there shall be no communication about whether the desired standard is Daisy Fresh or Winter Bush or something in between. You ladies and the Artilian security and enforcement agents will just have to find out together. And now, the sounds of ducks. You know what I hate, friends? Running out of moisturizing shampoo. I know you know what I mean. What if I have the big game or the big interview or the big execution tomorrow and I step into the shower only to find an empty bottle? That is the worst. That is the fucking worst. Well, thanks to Xander, you never have to worry about that. The process is simple. Step out of the shower and into your master closet. Tell the AI knowledge assistant in your master closet that you're out of moisturizing shampoo and you need it in an hour. She will respond that that's not possible because even the Artilians aren't as brutally and ruthlessly efficient as Amazon, but she will recommend a recipe for moisturizing shampoo based on items she knows to be in your home. She'll briefly mock you for being a dandy and then tell you to stop crying. You'll receive your shampoo from Xander in 5 to 7 business weeks. Remember, it's mandatory. And now the sounds of ducks, accompanied by ill-fitting music. In public discourse news, the Artillean Division of Making You Aware of What You Sound Like has banned the following phrases and expressions effective immediately. That is fascism. That is socialism. I know my rights. Do your research. And I pay your salary. The reasons for this are simple and should be obvious, but in case they're not, here's some context. Anyone who has ever said any of the previously listed phrases and expressions has a 96.43% chance of not understanding what they mean. Matter of fact, odds are near even up that if you use any of those phrases or expressions, you are likely expressing the exact opposite of what you intend to. Okay, let's take them one by one. This is fascism. This is typically uttered by someone who is upset that the illegal, unethical, or plain old cunty thing they are currently engaged in is not receiving a positive response from those around them. They may be asked to leave the premises and property of a private business, or they may be thrown violently to the ground and arrested for walking into a police station, brandishing a loaded weapon, even in an open carry state. What a shock. Fascism does not simply mean someone won't let you do the thing that you think you should be allowed to do, nor is it simply a synonym for any authoritarian or oppressive regime. In actuality, fascism is a far-right political ideology characterized by dictatorial power, strong authoritarian leadership, suppression of political dissent, and the promotion of extreme nationalism. It emerged in the early 20th century, particularly in Europe, and is associated with prominent leaders such as Benito Mussolini in Italy and Adolf Hitler in Germany. Key features of fascism include: fascist regimes are marked by a centralized dictatorial power structure where a single leader or small group holds absolute authority and controls all aspects of society, including politics, the economy, and social life. Nationalism. Fascism promotes an extreme form of nationalism that exalts the nation and its perceived cultural, racial, or ethnic superiority. It often emphasizes the need for territorial expansion or reclamation of lost lands to restore the nation's former glory. Totalitarianism. Fascist governments seek to exert total control over individuals in society, employing state propaganda, censorship, and surveillance to suppress dissent, control information, and shape public opinion. Militarism and violence. Fascism glorifies military strength and sees armed conflict as a means to achieve national and ideological goals. It often promotes aggressive foreign policies, expansionism, and the suppression of perceived enemies or minority groups within the country. Anti-democratic. Fascism rejects liberal democracy and values associated with individual freedoms, pluralism, and equality. Instead, it favors a hierarchical society with strict social order and the subordination of individual rights to the interests of the state. Fascist regimes often seek to establish close ties between the state, corporations, and other organized interest groups, creating a corporatist system where economic decisions are centrally controlled to serve the interests of the state. That last segment about fascism was brought to you by Xander, where you can probably get shampoo. The next segment about socialism is also brought to you by Xander, as is the next breath you take, all the flavorless gelatinous cubes you eat today, and all the old trees and the young trees. Join Xander now. Please, really. Do you want to get fucking shot? That is socialism. This one is a little more difficult to pin down, as the ways in which those who say it get it just plain fucking wrong vary from person to person. That being said, I cannot tell you how they get it wrong, but I can almost guarantee you who gets it wrong. They like trucks, cans of light beer. They spend their weekends lovingly attending to their lawn and have, quote, worked for everything they've ever gotten, despite their father's position as the CFO of a regional chain of grocery stores. They are suspicious of your insistence at listening to music they don't care for, and they are baffled about their multiple arrests for felonious assault. Anyway, whatever they think socialism is, they are incorrect. I guarantee it. One of the most common misunderstandings about socialism is the conflation of socialism with communism. While socialism and communism share some similarities, they are distinct ideologies with different goals and approaches. The main misunderstanding stems from equating socialism with totalitarian regimes, such as the Soviet Union or China under Mao Zedong. This misconception portrays socialism as an oppressive system characterized by a centrally planned economy, lack of individual freedoms, and a single-party rule. However, this view overlooks the diversity of socialist ideas and the range of socialist movements throughout history. In reality, socialism is an economic and political philosophy that seeks to address social and economic inequalities through collective ownership and control of the means of production. Socialists advocate for a more equitable distribution of wealth, social welfare, and the reduction or elimination of class-based disparities. It is important to understand that socialism encompasses a broad spectrum of ideologies ranging from democratic socialism to more revolutionary or Marxist interpretations. Democratic socialism, for instance, advocates for achieving socialist goals through democratic means, respecting individual liberties and political pluralism. Another common misunderstanding is the notion that socialism means the complete eradication of private property and a total absence of market mechanisms. While some socialist movements do advocate for communal ownership of certain industries or resources, many forms of socialism allow for private property rights within a regulated and socially responsible framework. Additionally, various socialist models incorporate market mechanisms to varying degrees, such as a market socialism or mixed economies. I know my rights. This shall hitherto be known as Harker's Law. If one states that they know their rights, as opposed to stating the right to which they are referring, they do not know their rights. Also, they likely have a stupid haircut. Do your research. Now, this comes down to perception, comrades. The image this person is attempting to invoke is that of an obsessive professor, perhaps even Newton, locked away in a tiny room off a square at Cambridge, dressed in nothing but a robe and with stubble and glassy red eyes, forgetting to eat or drink for days, poring over ancient and mysterious texts in forgotten languages and piecing together clues and inventing new mathematical disciplines, all to finally and for good put to rest the eternal mystery of the dance of the celestial spheres. In contrast, what this actually means is the top result on a Google search and or what your step-uncle posted to Facebook after a week-long Boone's Farm bender. In actuality, research refers to the systematic investigation and study of a specific topic or issue in order to gain knowledge, expand understanding, and contribute to the existing body of knowledge. It involves the careful and structured exploration of a subject using established methodologies and rigorous processes to collect, analyze, and interpret data. Research typically follows a systematic process that involves the following key steps: clearly defining the objective of the research and identifying the specific question or hypothesis to be investigated, conducting a comprehensive review of relevant literature and previous research to understand the current state of knowledge and identify gaps or areas for further exploration, selecting appropriate research methods, such as qualitative or quantitative approaches, surveys, experiments, interviews, observations, and data analysis, and designing a plan to collect and analyze data. Gathering data through various methods, applying statistical or qualitative analysis techniques, and interpreting the results to draw meaningful conclusions. And finally, summarizing the outcomes of the research, including the key findings, implications, limitations, and recommendations in a clear and coherent manner. I pay your salary. Well, yeah, okay. I guess you're technically not wrong, but you are an asshole. In conclusion, words matter, friends, so please do your research. Anything less is fascism. That ironic turn was sponsored by Xander Marketplace. Are you a creator or do you enjoy DIY and crafts? On Xander Marketplace, your product will be stolen from you and sold, and if it's particularly popular, you will be relocated to a Siberian gulag where you will be permitted to spend the rest of your days serving New Artilia. I mean Xander. You won't be compensated or credited, and your name will be lost to history. All hail, Artilia. All hail the eyes in the sky. All is well, all is well, all is well. Remember, everything has been brought to you by Xander. Xander, 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 Xander. Got it? Mayhem is a Wetwork Media production starring Landon Harker. It is written and produced by Dan Lauer. All music is provided courtesy of Kevin MacLeod and licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. To learn more, visit incompetech.com.